everybody, it's Connie. 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. Oh, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is always like a thing for me because I like to do a lot of prep for Thanksgiving cooking, but the truth is there's not that much I do ahead of time, and so it's just anxiety putting everything together. Hi, Stephanie. I walked over here in the rain. It's pouring. I'm all wet. Okay, I'm going to put my sleeves up, though, because I got a project today that's a little messy. And it's going to take a lot of desk space, and I don't have a lot of desk space today because I have been putting messages inside of all my Christmas cards and getting mine ready to mail, ready to send with projects to customers and my downline, and all those cards that I've made for JJ, just gobs. And I usually, as you know, don't complete my card on the inside because I don't know who I'm going to use it for. And so now is the time where I just get out all my messages that I want to use for the year and a whole bunch of colors of ink, and I just do card after card and write my messages as I go. And I've got about half of them done, which is pretty good, considering I have like hundreds, because I'm sending a bunch to JJ too. All those cards that we made in the Stash Busters, I have some really fun cards. Boy, it was really hard to decide what to send to close friends and stuff because I have so many fun cards this year. And last year, I still had the Christmas bug through January. And so I made a whole bunch of Christmas cards in January, even though Christmas was over. And I'm really glad I did because I can't believe how many I have complete. Otherwise, I think I might have run short. So I was really glad I did that. Anyway, I got my little Disney Christmas countdown, 29 days till Christmas. And I just have been, I'm going to keep that on my desk. It's a pin that you can wear, but it's got this little hook on the back that makes it stand up. And I was like, well, that's adorable. And I really like having that. It probably won't stay standing up while I'm messing around today, but it's really cute. I love Chip and Dale. Anyway, I knew it was going to be a mad dash scramble when I came back from vacation to wrap up my month and get things done. And for November, I only have until tomorrow to place my host order for the month of November. And I realized I had enough sales to give 2 prizes away, 2 host rewards. I could have given 1 big one, but I decided to do 2 small ones of $30 each. So you get $30 worth of Stampin' Up! Product. It'll be a little while before it comes to you because I need it to come to me first since I'm doing 2 people. If I was just mailing it all to one person, it would go direct. But it's a lot to give somebody. When I've had so many orders this month, it's nice to split it up a little bit. So that's my plan. And I'm not looking. I've got my Santa mug, and I am going to draw the first person. And the first, I drew 2. The first person, oh, look at that. It's Stephanie. Oh my gosh, isn't that convenient since you're sitting here watching me? Sorry, I got it on a Post-it note. Stephanie and Denise. And Denise, I know, is at work, so she's not watching. But there's the 2 hosts for the month. I have to have orders, I'm not kidding, by tomorrow. If I can't figure out what to order by tomorrow, I will have to order something myself and then just pay out of pocket for somebody else. So anyway, there you go. A couple of announcements. I put them on a Post-it note because I was afraid I would forget. There are 2 things coming out on December 3rd. One of them is there's going to be they like to do and announce their retired products, last chance items. It's in their clearance section, usually under specials. On the website at the top, there's like menu and shop or something, and it kind of goes across the top, and there's a specials button there, and it will allow you to click on that and look at clearance, and they're going to load it up on December 3rd. At the same time, they're doing those online paper specials. Now there's like 3 packs of paper that it's like a bring back my pack. And they're doing it in different colors. I have no idea what those packs were called or what colors they came in originally, because that was before I started. But I just thought that was kind of cool. There's one pack in there that's kind of got a toile feeling. It's like black and white and outlined flowers and stuff, and it's gonna go really pretty with some of the Valentine paper that they're coming out with. So I thought, well, that's I'm definitely getting that one. There's a 6x6 paper pack that it's just washes of color. I don't need 6x6, and that's 6x6 is hard to use. We were just talking about that today. It's a little hard to use. It's a challenge. So I think I just need to start cranking through it and use it up. Speaking of using it up, I have so many Christmas papers I just want to crank through. And so my Christmas card making is essentially done, except anything I make at this point will probably go into my next year pile. So I might make a couple elaborate, interesting cards just because I've been putting it off a little. But other than that, I'm going to stick with scrapbooking and pre-Christmas projects. I have an ornament or 2 that I want to make. I have a couple more tags, gift card holders. I could use a couple of those for Christmas. So I have some projects scheduled for December to get me through some of those kind of things. And today I was going to work on that fun fold thing that I have going on. But then Margie sent me this. Let me push it close to the camera so you can see it. This is a page by Vicki Boutin, and it is a pre-printed, it looks like, she's kind of famous for mixed media, and she's very talented that way. And I love her stuff, but it's hard for me to actually do because I'm very linear. I don't like to make things uneven and quirky all the time. And so it's hard for me to do things that aren't like perfectly geometric and stuff. But anyway, this is kind of an interesting take on this Christmas tree. And if you look really close to it, what it is, what it originally was, and then they basically took a photo of it and made it into a paper. But this is just 1/2-inch strips of ribbon and paper and paint, all the way up to make a tree. And then on the outside of the tree, which I think gives it a lot of interest, is this blue color, because it's kind of unexpected and it kind of makes everything else pop. And then even more pop is this black in here. It gives it like a graphic look. It's kind of cool. And what you may or may not be able to see on here is the background paper is a grid. I think we all have some of that grid style paper where the background is kind of subtle. Boy, it's hard to see on camera. Can you guys see that? The more I zoom in, the blurrier it gets. Oh, there you can kind of see. It's got a grid. Anyway, I was talking to Margie, and she's like, wouldn't it be cool to make this in real life instead of just buying a flat sheet with it pre-printed on there. And I'm like, you know, we have stuff we could do this with. And I think that I think we can kind of do our own version of it, or I'm going to try to do a version of it. It's hard because I really do think she used some paint on here. I think that right there is not just ink. I could be wrong. And then I'm not entirely thrilled with the idea of using ribbon on here. I don't have ribbon, all the ribbon in different colors. I'm not sure how I feel about the black. So I'm going to tweak a little bit. So here's what I pulled. Okay, I did pull this ribbon. This is that wild wheat, and that looks gold. It's the only ribbon I had that really matched my paper in any way. And then, okay, papers. I like the idea of making this a little bit more home style. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little. It is very hard to do on Facebook. Now you're either crazy zoomed in or you're crazy zoomed out. There's like no in between. It's a lot. All right, we'll just do it like that. Then you can see the tree and the papers. So I like the idea of adding some of the wood grain. So I grabbed some scraps of that. This green is two-sided, and it is like a pine, and it is from the, what was that floral? Secret Garden floral. I had it left over, and I was like, well, it's green. That'll work. And then these papers, let's see. I grabbed my scraps. I am down to just a few scrap pages of my green and gold. See, there's a little bit of vellum and some scraps of that green and gold paper pack. I don't have a ton of it left. Definitely enough to do scrap a page for sure. But, you know, it's just one of those things that I want to use up. I want it gone. I grabbed a couple of pieces of coordinating cardstock. There's the back of that one. So I have lots of greens. I tried to get a variety of greens. And I wanted a super dark green. So that's why I grabbed that one. And it's not a perfect match. You can see it kind of, but I thought it might act instead of black. If I decide not to do black, maybe use a dark green. Okay, and then I have some of that brushed gold. You can see the brush on there. It's like a brushed gold, which it's one-sided. It's heavy cardstock. This is Stampin' Up. And then I went ahead and I pulled some seafoam, which is like a gray-green color. Okay, so this is what I pulled so far. I had a bunch of scraps. I had some wood grain scraps, which I thought if I was gonna, you can see in here, she adds a lot of like that toffee sand kind of color, kind of off-white vanilla color. I didn't really want to necessarily add that sand color to the mix, although I do have some scrap that I could add if I need to. I'll just add it to my pile. Now the other thing that I pulled out was that Nature's Sweetness paper. I bought extra of because I love it so much. And the polka dots, the black dots around this tree kind of reminded me of how they splattered onto this page. And I really like the script on the page, maybe for some of the lighter stripes. And then there's some sheets of gold. I played around with color, thinking I could add some gray. I could add I could add some gray. I could add some black. I could go with like, you know, a coppery color. All of those would work, meaning you have things that would work in your stash, no doubt. We'll get into your scraps and let's play a little bit with that. And then the problem became, what do I want to do on the outside? It looks like she used a paint or ink or something and a brush to brush that on. This was not, my normal thing would just be to make a wash of some kind with a brush and water and ink, or, you know, pat the paper down onto color and have it pick it up, or even use a blending brush and just blend it out. And I may do that, but I did grab a bunch of stamp sets that might give us that look. So I'll show you what I grabbed. This is from Close to My Heart, and see, it has a lot of different textures things on it. And I thought that little swirl telephone, that's the closest thing I had to that. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I do kind of like the idea of doing it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a block so that, gosh, I need to get out my blocks. I used all my blocks for all my greetings earlier. Had to get out more blocks. So, there's that sort of like telephone style look. The other things that I think this little starburst thing might look really cool too. Let me put that on a block. Okay, so we have a couple of those. I'm not sure what else on there. The other thing, this is a real oldie. I don't even think I have a date on it. It's back when Close to My Heart put everything in color based on the theme. And I thought it was really cute. This zipper would look really neat. I really liked this texture right here. That might work for the paint area, the part that looks like paint, like right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like part right there where there's like paint, and I thought, well, that kind of would work. I really like the zipper idea too. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the block, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it. So the zipper, I'm gonna flip this block over, and I'm gonna have a stamp on both sides of the block. So I have, on this side, I have this paint kind of texture, and on this side, I have the zipper texture. That way, whatever I use, I'm ready to roll. Okay, there's that. The other thing, I was kind of deciding what I wanted to do for the dots. These dots, like paint splatters. I could splatter them, but look how big they are. And so I think they were stamped or something. And so I got out my splatter stamps, and I have a few. I have this one, and I have this one that does like a real fine all over. I have this one that is more like what I was thinking for splatter. I'm just not sure if I really want to use black. And then this right here might work for that paint idea also, but we'll just put that aside. Okay, the other splatter I have that I thought about is this one. I have this one and this one, and I think I want to try this littler one. So I have a couple of dots out. Okay, then I was thinking about this background. I could use the blending brush, and I may some anyway, but I also have this really cool watercolor impression style stamp, and I thought, you know, it's been forever since I used these, and these might be a really nice way to get that color on that background. I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to go with this, but it'll give me some options. And so I'm just gonna, this is a little bit big for this block, but I'm just going to put that on there like that. Okay, so I have a couple of those watercolory looking things. All right. And then the other thing, I was kind of looking at this because I thought these little stars were really neat. Those are really nice if I wanted to do like some gold around it, because you know I'm gonna have a lot of gold on this page. Or maybe I do the stars in a different color. I don't know. But I like this idea of adding stars. So I'm going to add that. There's also this star, which I don't think is going to be big enough for the top. All right. I have tons of star stamps. Did I get one out? No, I did not. So we'll have to do something with the star later. Okay, so let's talk about the background. We're going to start with the background. I have a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I have two of them actually. They're stacked on each other. And I'm going to do we're going to start with the left page. And I was kind of looking at colors because in this picture, I think what makes this look so striking is the black, because you don't expect it. And the other color that's so striking is that blue on the background. So I pulled a couple of blues, and I gotta be honest with my, with all of my greens and golds, I didn't like any of my real blue colors. I just thought it's too blue. It's too summery. So I'm going to set those aside for a minute. And then I pulled out Glacier, which I thought it's a little softer, and that's definitely a contender. But to me, the green equivalent of Glacier is Seabrook. And I like the idea of using Seabrook because it's a little softer. So I think I'm going to go with that. I have Sage. And then I was kind of toying with Mink. We could use any of those. Any ideas what you think would look best? I don't know. Any of those I think would look okay. So I think I'm going to start with Seabrook, just see what that looks like. And then we can like go darker if it's just not enough. I'll start in the middle playing a little bit. Oh yeah, that's Seabrook. If I go too much darker than that, I think it'll be too much. So, all right. So I'm just going to go kind of up and around. And this is supposed to be a very irregular looking, kind of organic looking kind of thing. It's not supposed to be, like a perfect image. All right, I'm gonna grab my foam pad to give me a little cushion on here. I'm just going to kind of random stamp, and I'm gonna rotate this a bit. And I'm just gonna go around it in like a tree type of shape. I probably should take the second page off. Hold on a minute. There we go. And we can just kind of do that. And then I'm going to do the bigger one. I probably really should have a larger block, although I think I'm using my larger block. I have like another project I have going on right now, and it is definitely like taking a ton of blocks. So while I'm stamping this and we're chatting, I'm wondering what everybody's doing for Black Friday. Do you guys do Black Friday shop? I don't see any comments, none. So I really want to know if you Black Friday shop. That did not work. I am an old school Black Friday shopper. Like, I'm the person who always loved going out and finding deals and, you know, standing in line. I'm one of those kind of people. Annoying, I'm sure. That one part of my stamp doesn't want to stamp. That's weird. Probably because I wrap it around all the time. Wrap it around my block. Nope, it's just not gonna. This is where you need like to use a giant Misty, right? Let me grab my other stamp and I'll just keep going. Anyway, now that Black Friday is so different, I kind of feel like they need to get rid of like Cyber Monday. I don't know how you guys feel about that at all, but it's kind of like almost all the Black Friday shopping is online, and it goes on for the whole month. It's no longer like a day of shopping. I mean, there are some sales that are, you know, during that day or this weekend only. But honestly, there's a lot of deals. Have you seen crafty deals? That's the other thing, because I was watching a YouTube the other night, and Jennifer McGuire was showing all of her like favorite, she always does her favorite crafty things of the year, and then she kind of does like her like sales of the year, like where they're on sale. Okay, the bottom's gonna be covered up, so doesn't look like much, but that is basically how that's gonna go. And then I have an idea for the second page to do some strips, like this page will be vertical tree, and then we'll have a couple photos, and then here I want more room for pictures, and then so I think I want some vertical strips here and maybe a couple of tiny strip trees down here. So I'm thinking that I want to do some of this kind of off to the side in this corner. I have no idea how this will turn out. I have like an idea in my head. It may look terrible. I have no idea, but we'll see. And then I'm just gonna do an edge up there. Okay. I think that's enough of that for now. Now I have some other colors. One thing I noticed in this photo is that, yes, these are torn strips of paper, but instead of using torn strips of paper, I think I could use an underlying stripe of ink once in a while. So it's not just all paper strips. And I have my sage, I have mink, and I have acorn. And I thought about just using acorn. I thought about just using acorn paper. Acorn, when it's stamped, looks gold. And I think I'm going to end up putting my stars in this color. So if you decide that you want to do some ink stripes, now would be a good time to do that. I'm not really sure that I want to do that yet. If that I'm going to do the ink, because I have a lot of color here. So, okay, now it's time to cut our strips. If you look at the strips, almost all of them are about a 1/2 inch. There's a couple that are wider, like this one is a little wider. There's one underneath here that's probably 1.5 inches that's real wide. So I'm just going to start cutting strips. And we have a variety of things we want, right? So I'm just going to move them to that 1/2 inch point. I think I'll turn it this way. And I think I'll just cut 2 of each, and I'll just figure out what to do with the excess later. I can always use it on a card or something. I really love this, this gold. I think I'm going to make this one my wider one for the underside. And I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch of it. I won't use the back on that one. This one is all gold, and the back has some scripty font. And so I'm going to go ahead and I want to cut it in the direction of the scripty font in case I want to turn it over. So I can use it as a gold piece or the scripty font piece. Okay, that's my Nature Sweetness done. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, I need to trim that. I have like, I don't know. These scraps have weird score lines and stuff in them. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that at a 1/2 inch. I got 2 pieces there. So, yeah. So I'll just use that the way it is. I was looking for something for my husband for Christmas, and I gotta tell ya, he is to the point where he does not want nor need a single thing. He's just one of those people that, you know, when he has something or gets into something, he'll buy what he wants when he wants it. And I'm kind of the same way. The difference is I want so much all the time. I'm easier to buy for. And then, hi Tanya, how you doing? I'm looking at my papers off to the side here, trying to decide if I want to, I think that's gold on the other side too. Anyway, neither one of us needs anything, right? We just don't. We don't need anything. We don't want for anything. And I was watching a couple of my favorite crafty YouTubers where they were talking about men's gifts. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that people like to buy for men, my husband would laugh at. He's not into sports. He is not, you know, he's just different than a lot of men. He doesn't get into the outdoor kinds of things. And so we just, they had this idea. I like the idea of the brush going this way, so I'm gonna do it this way. He is into chef like knives and stuff, and we've got like some very expensive, wonderful knives. So he doesn't really need a bunch of knives, but our smaller like steak knives are starting to get dull, and those are hard to sharpen, and so I thought about looking for that for him. The other thing that I thought might work for him is, I'm gonna go ahead and trim a couple of pieces of these. Would be like air tags, because we keep going back and forth about wanting to buy air tags, and they're so expensive that we've never actually jumped on it and taken the steps to buy them. And because we keep going back and forth on it, I thought that's probably actually a decent present. He loves the gadgety stuff. Okay. I think I'm going to start. I want to try to lay out some of my strips a little bit. There's a theme that runs through here of polka dots. This piece has polka dots. These two have polka dots. The one at the bottom has polka dots. There's quite a theme of polka dots on here. I don't have polka dot paper, but I do have a lot of stripy paper. And so if I put the light color down first, and I definitely think the words and this one are my lightest, I could do the back wood grain color on there, and maybe even make that some of my painted area. The other color that I have that's light is the little strip like that so I'm going to start with my lighter strips, and I'm going to mess with those a little bit. I think this is where I'm going to stamp my ink paint look. This is going to take me longer than an hour, just for the record. I just want you to know, in case you think you're getting out of here fast, I guess you can leave at any time, but I'm going to finish this. All right, I'm using sage. I probably should use a darker color, but I'm going to use sage, and I'm just going to stamp on the bottom of that, and you can see it's got like, now it's got like a paint swoosh on it. Let me grab my darker green. This is New England Ivy. New England Ivy and Pine are very, very close. New England Ivy matches the Stampin' Up color of Garden Green a little bit better, and I don't have all of my inks set up for Stampin' Up yet. See, that would be a great gift for me, is Stampin' Up ink colors. But he wouldn't do that. He would get me cross-stitch stuff before he would get me Stampin' Up stuff. Okay, let's start there. I am going to I'm going to rip the edges. Oh, you know what else I need? Hold on a sec. So the issue is, what color do I want black on here? That's the issue. This thing has a lot of black, and it's a little much for me. So I think I'm going to try espresso instead. We'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of tear this edge. And this is going to go across like that. And then I'm just going to ink this up a little bit. I think by adding this inky edge, I won't get into quite so much of missing the black. We'll see. The other thing to make this look kind of cool would be to rough it up a little bit, not have it be quite so pristine. Let's see. And I'm just going to tear pieces. I probably should get out even darker brown, like a mocha or a cocoa or something. More of a goldeny brown might work better. Sometimes you just need that like extra. Tanya, what are you getting your husband for Christmas? Are you still there? I find that my husband's virtually impossible to buy for, and he's just there's that zipper. I'm doing that now because I'm afraid if I wait, I won't be able to get that put in place. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, now it's just a matter of gluing things down. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a bottom for a tree stem. And I'm going to just put these kind of down. I want to be able to tuck. Okay, now I can go ahead and build my tree with the other colors that I have. So I'm going to put this here. There's my bottom. And I have all these, off camera, I have all these strips. Let me see if I can move them where you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna start building. So a lot of these look like they might have even been like a washi tape. So, not sure, but I think so. Who's watching? I have no comments on this screen at all. Can someone say hello or something? I feel like I'm sure you've commented somewhere. It's weird how Facebook is like this now. They've changed their settings. I'm gonna, I don't know. Interesting. I have no idea. No idea why I can't see anybody, but I can't. Does this look like a project you would do? Are you looking at this going, no way, no how, not happening? Ooh, I like that side. I think I need to do some dark in there, don't you? Gosh. I like this gold, but it doesn't tear. This gold cardstock does not rip. So what else do I have? I might do another, save that for that other piece. Here's a little one. I like this. I like how I'm intentionally making them wonky. It's hard. It's hard for me because this is not my norm. Having things kind of going back and forth and not, it's just hard. All right, I gotta save a little spot at the top for a star, but I'm gonna put that piece up there. I'm gonna put some more green in here. It feels like it's lacking a little green. And maybe a little here. What's nice about if you just use cardstock is you could lighten it up a lot or use the darker side. You can decide which side you use. Oh gosh, last night you guys went over to my dad's and we were decorating his yard. because he has a hell of a time walking through his yard. His yard is very small, and it is, the tree roots have made his yard really difficult to navigate. I have trouble walking through his yard. And, ooh, I like the polka dots. That might have been good. I'll use this one for now. Maybe a polka dot at the top. And so we put out a lot of decorations in his yard. We put out his, oh, you know, like the blow up things and the things that we've made over time, that we like to put out every year. It's just a fun thing. But he's losing his oomph. He wasn't too excited about putting anything out. He's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it, Con. It'll be fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, that doesn't sound like my father. So yeah, that was like, yikes. Okay, do I have enough of everything? Does it look good enough? The other part that I want to do, I love the idea of adding some of this wood grain in here, especially since I'm going to put wood grain around the edges. I've already kind of decided to do that, so I'll put that there. Okay, now I want to put in my swirl things and maybe some of my snowflake things across it. This is where the black would really show up, and I'm not wanting to use black, so I'm going to try mocha, and we will just see if mocha will work. And let me get a little scratch piece of paper. There we go. Oh, that's really cute with the little, you know, swirl thing on there. I think I'll do maybe one more up here. You know, this is an acrylic black, an acrylic stamp. I can curl this a little bit. Yeah, that looks cool. Let me get my thing in here. There we go. And I want to put some glue down, hold that down. Okay, so I did those, and then I just want to do a few little stars on the tree here and there. Just oh, cool. It is starting to look kind of, you know, that organic-y feel. And then if I put a star on the top in this, I think wood grain is the answer for that, like a big wood grain star. So I'm just gonna cut that out so I don't use it. And then I want to do the spatters. And now I gotta decide, do I wanna do them in brown or do I wanna do them in a dark green? Because if I'm wanting to be graphic, oh, I do remember that wreath. God, that wreath was fun. But I don't remember using such weird colors. Like, I gotta decide, like, how do I want this to look? You know, do you want it to look really graphic art looking? That is a challenge, right? Okay, I'm gonna get out a pen. There's my kindergarten star. it doesn't have to be perfect, right? And it's certainly not. It's certainly not. But I just want like a star that isn't a perfect star for the top of the tree. Does that work? Okay. While I'm deciding what the heck I want to do with the dots all over it, I really like that star. Oh gosh. I think I'm going to cut that end off a little bit so it's not quite so crazy looking. I do kind of like it though. I'm going to use a pop dot on that. Ta-da! Okay, there's the tree. Everything glued down. Oh, you know what I didn't put on here is the ribbon. Now, the other ribbon that I do have, this is like a silver twine. It is on the clearance rack of Stampin' Up! And I kind of like the idea of it looking more natural than the gold ribbon on it. It looks more like, you know, like from nature or something. So let me cut a couple of, I think 3. And we'll just see if I can glue this down well enough, you know, to make this work. What I like is it's got some sparkle in it, but it is dimensional, which is nice. This turned out a little long. Yeah. I'm not talking nonstop, so that could be why. I'm like, I know it's weird, but when there's not people chatting with me, I feel like I'm talking to myself. It really helps me when you guys comment, because otherwise I'm like, there's nobody on here. I am just doing this project and talking about nothing to myself. Talking to my dog. Oh my gosh. See, I really think that Facebook is starting to, they're fiddling with stuff. And every time I go live in the last month, there's something weird or different that happens. Okay, I really like how this looks a lot. The other thing that I really want to do is I want to tear, remember how we did that, where you tear and then you just kind of roll it down a little bit like a torn edge, like that. And then you just take a little piece of your paper and glue it to the back. So just like this. And then on the front side, this is what it ends up looking like. I just like the idea of there being a couple of torn edges like that. I'm gonna do one down here too. Because I want this to, mine's gonna end up looking kind of rustic versus the one that Vicki Boutin did that is very graphic artist, like a lot of mixed media, and mine's just a little less artsy or something. I don't know, I'm just so, I like this look. That is too cool. I love it. Okay, let me grab page 2. So page 2, my thought is I need some stripes going up and down, And I can use anything because I've used everything. So anything in my stash, I want at least a 2-inch strip of something that is very green. And I'm thinking this one would work really well for that. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to put it down there and just kind of see how it looks. And then I want a couple of stripes vertically. I think I like that idea. And I may do something with more wood grain around the edges also. And then the other thing that I really want to do is I want to make another tiny tree down here with the scraps. I may have to cut this short or move it in a little bit so that my tree shows up pretty good. Try to decide. I should start with my lighter colors than my darker colors. So I'm going to make that a little smaller. Do that. I have some of this one. That's pretty. I could do the back of that. Let's see what else I've got. I've got just this. Oh gosh. So anyway, we did our dad's yard. It doesn't have nearly as much in it as what he usually does put in there, but it is done. And when it really helped, really helped. A little girl that lives across the street. I don't know how old she is. She can't be more than 5 or 6 years old. And ooh, Karen, that's a good idea. See, where were you when I was, I think some stars on there is a great idea. Wood stars. Actually, I probably have some wood stars that would look really good. This may mess it up. Anyway, this little girl that lives across the street, she came running over with her mom. She's like, oh my gosh, it's Santa, it's Santa. And her mom was like, oh, and look, we'll get to see it every day. We'll get to look at it every day because it's right in our front yard. It's right across the street. And my dad was just beaming, you guys. It was awesome. I really was like, oh, I'm so glad that little girl came out, because after Halloween, he was feeling really bummed because he did not have a lot of trick-or-treaters like he usually does. And he's like, I don't even know why I decorate. I have like almost nobody coming to the door. There's like no point. He was feeling so dejected, and that little girl just totally made his night last night. It was so sweet. Okay. I need another star. I'm afraid to cut one of my, kindergarten stars. I may look and see. I have stars. I have stars. I just need to get them out. I have wood stars that would look amazing on this tree. I just need to do it. All right, I have that. I'm going to put a few of these on. I just love how that looks. Okay. Now I need to glue this on. I glued it on. I totally did. So now I'm going to glue it on the hardest way possible. Since I glued my papers on top of it, it's down. There. And I like the idea. All right, let me zoom back out just a little bit. And then I can put the 2 pages together and you can help me decide what to do. I love the star idea. All right, there's that. Now, let me do my torn wood grain around the edges. I'm gonna tear here. You know, it was funny. I think it was JJ or somebody who apologized for sending me things while I was on vacation, and I'm like, gosh, I stood in line for rides and stuff just nonstop while I was on vacation. I had a lot of time to play around on my phone. I mean, my husband and I sat and talked and stuff, and we talked with other people in line, but you know, really, most people are just messing around on their phones while they're sitting there waiting in line. So it didn't bother me at all to hear from you guys. Not at all. Okay. I could have done that one a little bit better. I may have to wet my cardstock to get a better fold on that, because this is that super duper heavy cardstock that Steve gave me. Okay, so there's that. I think I need one down here. So here, and start rolling. See if I can make this look better. I don't know why I'm so worried. Like I said, it doesn't even really matter. So like I said, I'm tearing. I just tore the edge, and you can make that as big as you want. And then you flip your paper over to the back, and you add adhesive just around the edge, and then you put the part that you want to show down like that, and line it up, you know, with the edge of your cardstock. So then on the front, it looks like, you know, you have paper showing through, which is just really cool looking. I need a star so bad. I'm like, oh, it's in my wood stuff, which I have buried right now. I found my wood hearts, but not my stars. So I'll get it. I'll get it. Okay, now I gotta decide on stripes right here. I kind of like the idea of adding a little gold. It doesn't have to be a big piece. I like the torn edges too, Karen. I'm like, I don't know why I don't do that more often. Of course, then every single page I made would have like these torn edges or something, you know? I would like make them all the same. Gosh, what to use? Do I want the plaid? The plaid looks good. And I'm trying to use up this paper. Can you tell? I don't want to have it all left over. And I have been making projects using this paper like crazy. It is gorgeous. I love it. But honestly, I don't want a ton of it left. Okay, let's talk photo mats because, okay, here's the page. Here's the original page. Here's my version. The only thing I haven't added are all these little dots. I think we did pretty good though, don't you? That looks pretty good. I do think it is kind of neat that it was on grid paper, and I do have a lot of grid paper. I totally could have done something with that. But photo mats, I think I need dark photo mats, and I have more of this that's super dark pine. I have this one that's more garden green. The garden green like goes more. The pine is, you know, it's dark. Of course, by the time I put a photo on it, let me see if I have I don't have any things, but by the time you put a photo on it, not much of it actually will show. And I kind of like that darker color, so I might go with that. Let me trim that really fast. I have got so much stuff on my desk. It is horrible how much stuff I have on here. All right, so I don't like to cut my photos down very much, so I am going to do a couple. I'm going to do a couple full size, you know, like the 4x6. I threw my paper on the floor. I'm chasing paper around my room. And then I think I'll do a couple of 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I could put those sideways. And then I need, if I double mat it, I could use the wood grain. It makes it, it adds to the rustic, doesn't it? Let me see. The problem that I'm having right now is that I want to put photos of the Christmas trees from Disney on this page. And if I do that, most of them are vertical. They're not horizontal. So yeah, I like the solid, I kind of like the solid green too. This paper, I am trying to use it as well. I'm trying not to store paper anymore. I'm trying to use it, you know? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I may get out, I thought about even matting this with a little of the gold. Is that like too much? That might be too much. I don't know. I can't decide. Okay, let's just say I do this and I have two, like, you know, 3x4 or 4x4 photos here. I have a 4x6 and a 4x6. So that's 4 photos. Plus I could probably put something down here. Maybe my journaling down here. Okay, I'll put some gold wood stars here. I need a couple of these on this part of this tree. Boy. All right. Wow, I really like that twine. Just just can't get over it. Okay, so now I need my spatters. I am to that point. I did buy, I have some of the new Lisa Horton metallic pigment ink. It is gorgeous. I have some of her interference metallics, which are really cool. You guys, those are cool. Let me just show you. I haven't even had a chance to play with them all, but the interference inks are really different. The metallic inks are just metallic, and you know, we all have pigment metallic inks. The interference inks are like, I'm looking for my red and green ones. I don't know where I put them. I was using them the other day. Before I went on vacation. That's why I cannot remember where the heck they are now. But basically, let me just show you, like, this is, the name of this one is Yuletide Sky, and you put it on, okay, and let it dry. And, okay, I don't know how well you can see. You can't see it very well on camera, but it's like blue and then purple, and then blue and then purple. And it's really, really, her interference inks are so neat. And I have one that's like red and green for Christmas. And then this one, which I thought I'd play with, you know, after Christmas. But I really like her metallic ink. She is a, she's a designer that is, I think she's out of the UK. Anyway, I want to put some metallic stars around the tree, just random. I like the idea of having some metallic on here. And then I'm going to put some on this side too. Pretty. And then I thought about putting a few around the tears, but I think for that I really do need my ink blots. So here's my splotches, big splotches and little splotches. Help me. What color? Should I do green? Should I do brown? Maybe I should do New England Ivy. I could do a few. On scratch paper, that might help me decide. I'm really torn because I want it to be dark. So if that's on there, oh, that'll look good. I think the dark green will look great. Okay. So let me just show you how it is in here. She's got them all up and down the tree, overlapping the tree, and some on the edges. So in other words, anything goes is basically how I take that. So I am just going to I'm just random going here. I have nothing in mind in particular. And then on this page, I'm going to do a few big ones also. And then I'm going to go to these dots, which are more like bigger and scattered. I should ink it and then you can see what I'm talking about. So with that, I can kind of do these edges more. And maybe one right here. And then I think I need at least one or two of these around the tree a little bit, like maybe off the page. Okay, well, it does look like I just green splotches everywhere. So what do you think? Should I call it done other than some gold or wood stars? Is that enough? I think it turned out great. That turned out great. What a difference, right? Oh gosh, look at that. I think I need just a few bigger splitches. Let me get out my, okay, you're gonna be like, oh no, don't get out more. But I see like how I have just a few here and there. I think I can just do a smaller amount, you know, not quite so many, just to fill in a couple of blank spots, like over here. I like the idea of having, you know, a larger dot. All right. All right, I'm calling that pretty much done. Pretty much done. Because I've been on here for like an hour and a half. Yay. Okay, there we go. I hope you love it. It's been really fun. I'm gonna keep kind of doing a little something to this. I'm out of glue. I'm gonna keep messing with this a little bit and adding some stars, and I will show you the finished page in a photo in just a little bit. So I just have to dig out those stars. I should have thought about that. That was a great idea, Karen. So, all right. Have a great afternoon. Have a great Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh. Our Thanksgiving is going to be kind of small, but we are cooking all the stuff. We are not, you know, scrimping. So we're still cooking everything like we were having a dozen people over. But the truth is, it's just going to be like 5 of us. Not too bad. So, all right. And then I have, this weekend, we have Stampolistic class. And I have Jingle Ball cross-stitch class. It's gonna be a lot of fun to do this weekend since I can't. The Black Friday, I want to know what you're buying. Please let me know in the comments. Please let me know what you're buying for your men. I'm curious what people are buying. My husband has everything in his dreams he could ever have, including the best wife ever. So I have to figure something out to get him for Christmas. So, okay, there we go. Ta-da! Goodbye, everybody. Oh, Stephanie and Denise, you need to email me or message me with $30 worth of whatever you want. Please do that this afternoon or early tomorrow morning, because I'm not kidding. I don't know why I didn't give myself more time to end that hostess party, but it's at the 30-day mark, and they say they're only good for 30 days before they disappear. So, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.